Hello, everybody. I'm sweaty. Jeremy, are you sweaty?
Oh god, I'm sweating so much right now.
Oh, it's just oozing out of my pores. Welcome to another episode of eXhuming the X Files here on the Outpost Unknown YouTube channel. My name is Matthew, joined by a very sweaty Jeremy.
Very, very sweaty, Jeremy.
We are talking episode 6 of season 4, Sanguinarium, directed by Kim Manners, written by two sisters, Vivian and Valerie Mayhew, who really love the sweat. Um, yeah, I did not have any memories of this episode at all. How about you? Did you remember this from your childhood?
Like the previous ones? No. No, I done nothing.
Did we miss? Did we watch like the season premiere and then watch home and then just completely miss the rest of season 4? I don't know. Have to keep listening each week to find out. But yeah, we're talking Sanguinarium. This is interesting. This is like the nip tuck before nip tuck was a thing. Let's talk about Sanguinarium, Jeremy, let's do it.
So we start with a liposuction procedure, and a nurse is talking to fat to comfort her fat face.
Oh my god!
And I got it. I
Fat
got it.
shaming someone just trying to get some lipo. They're just
I
trying to be attractive for you, Jeremy, and the lipo is what they need to make that happen, and you're just mocking them mercilessly.
It was early in the morning, Matt. This is the beginning of like my fourth episode. I just finished my entire pot of coffee and I hadn't had anything to eat at this point. So I was just spun up on go juice and I just saw it. I'm like, fatty. And I just started typing it. And that's how it ended up. Sorry. It was a little bit harsh. She wasn't that big. But this entire episode is about the evils of seeking the easy way back into beauty,
Mm.
which, wham, if you can't afford plastic surgery. But all right, so the nurse tells this doc who is scrubbing up and he is sweating. Capital SWEATING, sweating all over the place. And he's like, "Yeah, line up that one. You got another surgery. I want you to line that up right afterwards. I want all these people just under the anesthesia. I want them ready to go because I'm just gonna just go time." And then it
What?
zooms in on his hands, and he's scrubbing his hands so hard,
Oh yeah.
blood is coming out of his fucking fingers.
Oh yeah, yeah. My note for this when I saw his sweaty face, I'm gonna read it to you. Oh my god, so much sweat, gonna be a banger episode. That's what I wrote. I'm now judging X Files episodes and their quality based on how much sweat the characters are exuding from their bodies.
And indeed, this episode is full. So the very next scene I write, "Ew, he's putting his bleeding hands inside of the rubber gloves. Like you could see the blood soaking the inside of his
Yeah.
fingers." And he pulls out the tube that sucks up the fat and he just inserts it and he just really enthusiastically just starts sucking out the fat and he's really getting in there and you can see like the
Going to
compression
town.
device. You can see like the fat chunks being sucked up the tube and into whatever accordion thing is sucking it out. And then the nurses are standing out in the hall, like looking at. There's cameras apparently in the hallways aiming into the OR, and she's like, "Where's the doctor?" He's like, "He's doing this guy over there." It's like that guy was supposed to get a hair transplant or something because his head is all marked up, and the dude's just jamming this liposuction thing into
Oh,
him,
it's
and
brutal.
it turns from fat into blood at some point. The doctor is just covered in blood and he turns around, he looks at the nurse. She's like, "What is going on?" He's like, "I think this patient is finished." Title screen.
I fucking love this. This was awesome. I was like, when I watched this, I'm like, finally. I felt like The Rock in WWE. Like, finally, we returned to the X Files. I don't know if I was just in the mood for some gory graphic violence, but I loved. I love like weird plastic surgery shit. Like I love the show Nip Tuck. I love it. I think it's awesome, and I love just the whole like the creepy idea of plastic surgery. Like I would never get plastic surgery, and I always tell people I was like, you know what, you're fine as you are. You do not need to like. Oh, God, what was I was something popped up in my feed the other day. It was like Jenna Ortega, what they call like buccal fat surgery or something. Like all these women in Hollywood are getting the fat from their cheeks sucked out and making them look like Skeletor. And I'm like, that is fucked up to me. It's just fucked up. But the idea of plastic surgery is fascinating to me, and why people do it and the psychology of why they do it and why they think they need to do it. And so this was like disturbing plastic surgery crazy shit, and I was all in.
I thought it was gross. I thought we were due a horror episode, and this one didn't pull any punches in the title screen. So I was excited for it. I was excited to see something new. I, I'm not yet equating the sweat to the great episodes yet. I just know that if there's sweat, they're trying.
Very, very true. Now, I will tell you, I did not expect this episode to go where it went from this opening cold open title. I thought we were going a completely different direction that we'll end up getting into here. But yeah, I like this opening. It's the best one of the season, in my opinion.
Ew. So, for some reason, the FBI is interviewing the doctor that had murdered this guy. The lawyer who's sitting there won't let his client say too much, but the doctor does admit that he has no idea how much he's slept recently,
Yeah.
and that he's on some sort of drug to help him sleep. Um,
Somna.
Mulder fucks up a crime scene immediately afterwards by taking a stick and smearing a blood smear that's on the floor all over the ground,
Yeah.
like a pentagram.
He didn't use his finger though. So he's growing as a person. He
Yeah, he
didn't
didn't
stick his
taste
finger in
it,
there and look at it and lick it.
but he sees these burn marks in the floor, and he equates that to the occult because it just so happens to be in just the right pattern to make a star.
Yeah.
And Scully has this decent line. She's like, "There's some magic going on here, Mulder. It's just being done with silicone and a well placed scalpel."
Look, Jillian, not every woman can look like you. Okay, give
No,
him a
they
break.
can't.
This was the moment when I was like, oh, we're just doing die hand die roulettes again.
We are.
Instead of a school, it is a hospital with a plastic surgery room wing. That's what we're doing. And I gotta say, I was a little let down by that. And I was like, oh man, again, we're just recycling plots we've already seen done really, really well. That was my initial thought.
And it is kind of that way because we immediately go to this boardroom of hospital people.
Yeah.
They're talking about being burned at the stake, which was done with the teachers that were meeting in Dehan de Verletz. Hard. We go from the burned at the stake thing where we're like, are these people in the boardroom? Is there witch people involved with the hospital? To an old lady who's having leeches removed in the shape of a pentagram from her chest in the OR. And it was like it's nasty. It was all like bruised and stuff. There's no way to hide that. But
I love how gross this episode is. Like this episode goes for it. When we were talking about Home, and we were like, "Oh man, this was banned from television for, the depictions of violence stuff." This episode was far more graphic and violent than Home, in my opinion.
for
We're
sure.
gonna get to the laser to the head.
I mean, there was fat chunks being sucked up in a tube. Like it wasn't a continuous stream. They were just like flecking it up in there. It's like, oh god,
Oh,
it's so gross.
what was the? Oh, maybe I'm just into fat sucking. What was the episode with the dude who would just suck the fat from those women? Like Irresistible, wasn't that it? I like that one too. So maybe I'm into it.
I
Give him a
mean,
Give me more facts. I'm learning about myself right
Tell you
now
what,
in
man,
real time, Joey.
write a script about this, and if you're just at full mast the entire time, go see somebody and talk to them about it. Not me, like a professional.
Maybe become
So,
a plastic surgeon. I'll have free access to all the fat I could possibly want.
you know what? You could probably name your business Nip Tuck, and nobody would be the wiser.
No, no, no. I'd name it Nip Suck.
It's just you're gross, man. You are on fire. So we Mulder wants to show Scully a video about the guy that was sucking the fat, and it's a pretty cool shot because he's just really just jackhammering this
Oh
dude to
yeah.
death with the straw, and he notices that he's standing in the center of that pentagram, and it's like maybe this is witchcraft being powered off of people that the superficial, like people that need to feel a change or something like that, that there's an evil going on here, that it's powering whatever these pentagrams and stuff and causing this shit to happen.
Yeah.
And Scully has another great line. She's like, maybe we should put an APB out on somebody riding a broom.
That is funny. And I actually wrote this at some point in my notes here as this episode's going on. Scully is just so unbelieving that witchcraft could possibly be a thing here. I'm like, you've already gone through an entire episode where it was very clear that witches are a real thing and they're literally making like frogs fall from the sky on you, Scully. Like, I don't understand why you can't at least be open to the idea that there could be pentagrams and witchcraft sucking the fat out of people.
It's because her sister. It's because her sister was into all that shit when they were younger, and she always thought it was fake as shit there because her sister always used it to get attention, and she just has held on to that bias ever since.
Oh, interesting take. Okay, hadn't thought of that.
But yeah, she's very unbelieving, and they cut to another doctor, and I'm like, okay, so the problem is the doctors are sweating too much, and they go crazy because because there's another dude. He's getting prepped to go into the OR, and I think he's even talking to another doctor who's normal, and this doctor's just greasy, shiny, and so he goes in to do a laser surgery, like laser the top layer of skin off of their face, I guess, to make them look younger. But they're looking through the hallway monitors, and he's got the door locked, so they can't stop him. This dude has got this lady under uh or under not hypnosis, anesthesia, and he's just putting a hole in her cheek with the laser. And I thought at first, like, all right, he's just burning one side of her, like at least he's not just enthusiastically killing her with a liposuction tool. But then they showed the other side of the head. He's been working on her head so long with this laser, it's bored a hole clear through her jaw and out her neck
It
on
looks
the
cool.
other side of it's so cool. It's gnarly. But and then they zoom in on this one of the nurses who has a wart on her face. Like, okay, so she must have something to do with this, and she's a witch.
Yeah, all witches have warts.
Scully interviews this doctor, and then just takes his medicine out of his pocket to show Mulder that there's another doctor running around taking this particular medication, instead of just telling Mulder that she saw the thing in his pocket. The FBI breaks into one of the witchcraft board meeting. They blame a nurse that was there 10 years ago because it was like, this happened 10 years ago where a bunch of people died here. Yep. And they're like, well, this other nurse worked here 10 years ago and she has vanished. So it was her. It had to have been. and it goes to this lady's house, and sure enough, she's doing some witch shit while not wearing any clothes.
I love. Wait. When they get to the door, you know how we were talking about a few episodes back? It's like, Mulder and Scully walk up to a door and they just break in. Breaking an entry is just a thing that they constantly do in this show. I love when they walk up to the door and there's the broomstick outside, just like up against the wall, whatever. And I think it's Mulder's like probable cause. I just laughed like crazy. I was just like, that was perfect line.
It was
Perfect line.
good, but Scully doesn't even try to stop what he's about to do, especially when he
Nope.
opens the door and they see the protective rune on the door.
Yeah.
So they're just gonna break into this sweaty, like they're using sweat as misdirection. Scene, or are they? Because this naked witch is like burning somebody's hair, and she's just dripping sweat. So it's like,
Oh yeah.
all right. So she's causing all of this to happen. Uh,
Just
they
like the
break,
teacher in
they break
Diana
in,
Let's.
and Mulder's acting like he's never seen this stuff in the house, and like has to be told that everything he's looking at is witchcraft.
Yeah.
And it's just
Rain
like,
Man.
wait, what? They got like bones, and there's like candle lit, and there's stuff everywhere.
Yeah, we've seen this in like 5 or 6 episodes. Like every few episodes, they walk into a house or a location, and it's just filled with bones and feathers and blood and all of that. And it's just like, I'm shocked. I'm
No, they
stunned.
actually, okay. I had to find my spot in the lines. They see a bunch of witch shit, and Scully asks what she's been doing, and Mulder's like, probably not tax returns. It cuts to the boardroom. Oh no, sorry. The boardroom. One of the dudes in the boardroom. That it cuts to his house, and I'm like, I've seen this house before in an episode of X Files. You remember that weirdo Darko chick that Mulder like fell for?
Oh, the vampire chick?
Yeah, yeah. This was
Oh,
her house because the
okay, yeah.
stairwell in the front, like everything was the same. So they just knew some guy in Canada that just had a sweet pad, and they thought maybe we'd just forget, but I don't fucking forget.
Well, I forgot, but jeez.
So, and even they had the same light switch issue. That's when I knew. Like they walk through the front door, and I'm like, all right. And then they flip the lights, and the light switch doesn't come on, and I'm like, they did that shit in the vampire episode
You're
with the
right.
light switch, and he just had to go find her like sitting in the dark or something. He flips the light switch, or the boardroom guy does. The light won't come on. He goes up to his bathroom, and he just finds that his hot tub is full of blood,
Yeah.
which is gnarly. He walks over to the edge of it, and then there's a girl, the witch girl, comes bursting out of the tub like she was just hanging out in this tub of blood. Gross. And he's attacked. He gets back, like she attacks him with a knife. She does a really bad job of it. It seems like he gets hurt maybe a little bit, but kind of fights her off. And then she goes running off, and he looks back at the tub, and there's just this trail of blood. Like she just
Yeah.
and he follows it out. He gets a hold of the cops or something, and somehow this girl gets arrested, and she's screaming about how she needs to stop him because he's too powerful.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Twist.
no, dude,
Twist.
he outweighs you by about 40 pounds, and he has a decent right cross. That doesn't mean he has some wild powers. He just didn't get stabbed by your 4'1" frame
No,
wildly
no.
attacking him from a
The,
bathtub full of
the
blood.
no. The twist is we're thinking, oh, the girl with the wart is the witch that's causing all this, and then she's like, no. I'm trying to stop that guy. That guy is the real bad guy in this situation. That's what I mean by twist.
Yeah, no, I got you. But until even at the point of her screaming that, she's just yelling that he's more powerful or too powerful for having punched her in the face for being a crazy chick in a tub full of blood. Like,
Look
Like go
cool.
go down to Walmart, find the first person you outweigh by about 40 pounds, and just blast them right in the nose. As they go down on their ass, like, he's too powerful. No, you're not some sort of witch, Matt. You just punched a guy in the face. That's how it goes. But she starts spitting up metal needles as she's getting hauled away. And Scully's like, you need to get this woman to surgery immediately because she swallowed a bunch of needles. Mulder goes into the house to tell him and one of the other board members that this was all about witchcraft. And they don't even act cagey or suspicious about it. Like, they don't share no long look like, maybe he's onto us. They just, without skipping a beat, treat Mulder like he's a fucking moron.
Well,
But
to be fair, sometimes he is.
so Mulder shuts the door and lets the guy go to bed, and the guy starts levitating off of the bed.
Yeah.
So he is, in fact, some sort of spook or something.
Warlock. Great
So-
movie, by the way. If anyone's never seen Warlock with Julian Sands, awesome horror movie from the 80s.
So they find that all of the victims shared birthdays that were one of 4 different pagan holidays, major Wiccan pagan holidays throughout the year: Rudmas, Lammas, the day after Halloween, Samhain and Samhain, and that they're finding out that they're all sacrifices. It's what the evidence is pointing to, is that they're sacrifices, and somebody at the hospital is doing these sacrifices purposefully. Then what's his face? The dude that was levitating goes back to work in order to just get back to work. And as he's scrubbing up, he's like, his co-pilot is worried about him. It's like, you shouldn't be at work already because of all of these things that happened to you. You shouldn't be here at all. And I'm like, no need to worry, because he's not like sweating even a little bit. But the attendant doctor sends him home anyway. And almost as soon as he sends that guy home, the doctor starts sweating.
Yeah. It's just to be on the sweat.
Is talking to some lady, and then she's all worried about going under the knife. He puts her down and then dumps acid all over her face. And it is so horrible how that looked. That poor woman didn't get it good. Like, she's got it the worst.
Like you didn't like the effects on it? Or...
No, I loved it. It was gorgeous. It was just like, damn.
Okay.
That poor woman.
Yeah.
It's all like, hey, I'm just doing this because I want to feel better about myself. Like, she seemed nice.
Yeah. I have a note there. I was like, awesome effects work there. It looked so cool. And I love how disgusting this episode is. This is like a horror episode, like straight up. This is just horror, and I loved it.
I could hear, how upbeat you are in your voice, and I have a feeling it's entirely because of the horror aspect of this episode, Matt. You like it.
Well, and some of the fat sucking. I mean, let's be real.
That was horror, Matt.
To you, maybe.
Just a Tuesday where I come from. So, what is it? They link blood sacrifice and the desire to be beautiful through artificial means. This means the premise of the episode is really kind of stupid. To me, anyway. He stabs his colleague he ends up, like, going back, or they know it's Jack, or Franklin. They know it's this doctor now. Yeah. Because they do this, like, they find a picture of the dude one of the doctors that had supposedly died 10 years ago, and just like goes into Photoshop and just like wildly alters his face to make him look like the new doctor. And the person that they're talking to is like, that's too much stuff that would have happened to his face. You can't do that to another human being. And I'm kind of going along with it. I could put your photograph in Photoshop and tweak it for long enough, you end up looking like me. That doesn't mean that this dude was this dude, but they had to jump to some conclusion in order to point fingers at Dr. Jack Franklin.
Yeah.
So Dr. Jack comes back and he's starting to steal a bunch of scalpels, I guess, because he can't get scalpels anywhere else but this one hospital, even though he's being looked for. Um, Eventually, like the woman that sewed him up earlier and the female that was with it, one of the board members, like runs into him while he's stealing all of this stuff and somehow like takes her out. And I didn't even see what he did. Like, did he fling scalpels at her or just like kind of like do
No.
some magic
He
stuff?
Yeah, he like teleports them, like they phase out of existence and he like teleports them into her body. And then she's just getting all cut up inside and messed up from all that shit being in there. Like literally like disappears and then ends up inside of her.
Man, these low quality or episodes that I'm watching from with my pirate patch firmly over my eye, I couldn't see any of that. I just
Oh
like
man. See, the nice thing is, like, I don't know what aspect ratio are you watching these episodes in?
I'm pretty sure that these were recorded on VHS in 480p and
But
then
like
ripped
from the
digital.
90s, like, are you watching
Yeah,
them in 4:3? Oh my gosh! Now, like, I'm watching them on Disney Plus, and they have full 16:9 cinema everything. You're missing out, my friend. You
and
could
see,
see all these amazing little details. You think that acid to the face looked good on your shitty quality? Imagine what it looked like on my 60-inch television in high def. Looked gorgeous.
I can feel how tumescent you are through this conversation.
I'm really sweaty right now. I'm just letting you know. I'm super sweaty.
So, yeah, they go to Franklin's house. They find at the bottom of the stairs there's a big pentagram carved into the floor with the names of all of the sacrifices thus far, as well as the female doctor who they aren't aware is dead yet. They go track her down, find her that she's bleeding from the mouth. While she's being wheeled into the OR in order to help her out, Dr. Franklin starts doing the best makeup stuff in this episode so far. He starts cutting his own face off
Yeah,
and peeling it off of his forehead.
super good.
Um, Mulder tells Scully to go tell this female doctor's people to stop operating on her. If she dies, we won't be able to ever find Dr. Franklin. Um, Mulder ends up going through a bunch of extra of these OR rooms, ends up finding the room where Dr. Franklin was, and sees his face like laying there all peeled off and like throws up in his mouth a little bit. But they saved this female doctor. But right as they save her, it's like, okay, well that must have ended this whole thing, right? But no, some other patient dies. And they find out it's the same birthday as this female doctor. So he got away with it.
Yeah.
And then the final scene has this new doctor, a Dr. Hartford. He's in LA and he's talking with a woman that's running a plastic surgery center and just drooling all over his fake resume. So, and he's sitting there. He has a completely different face, just some other good-looking guy, and totally one of those episodes where the bad guy definitely gets away with it.
I feel like the devilish whatever witchcraft the teacher got away with it also in that one as well. So that's I think it's a common theme in X-Files episodes. If it's witchcraft, our heroes are not going to win. Okay. Before we talk about what we thought of this episode, there was a couple little points throughout here that I thought was funny. Throughout this episode, Mulder keeps like they will just show little shots of him like looking at his own face. Like there's a sequence when he's looking at a nose and he's like not happy with his nose, and there's a sequence later on when like Scully walks into his room, whatever, and he's like, you can see he's looking at his face in like very like minute detail, right? And I just thought those little flourishes were kind of funny, where it was showing like Mulder himself was just kind of like, all right, maybe I'm not as attractive and good looking as I need to be. And then there was a funny line. I think I was kind of like chicken scratching this on a notepad, so I don't know if I got the exact line right, but Scully says something to him about like it's a medical thing or something, and Mulder's like, it's not medical, Scully, it's blood sacrifice, and then just walked away, which I thought was amazing. Well, I won't spoil for anyone what I thought of this episode. So Jeremy, what did you think of this episode?
I thought it was good. The best episode of this season so far, and it's not even close. This was good, all the way from the horror stuff at the beginning. Again, one of those things where they hit the gas before the title screen and they don't let up all the way through the end when the dude's peeling his own fucking face off and
Yeah.
throws up in his mouth a little bit. Like, they weren't afraid to pull any of their punches. They just did it all the way, and they weren't apologetic for it. I liked this episode a lot.
Yeah. I love this episode. This was so awesome. And to me, I was like, I don't have any real recollection of seeing this as a kid. So I'm not bringing kind of like nostalgia goggles to it or anything like that. I just kind of watched this and I was just blown away by how much I liked it. Again, the horror elements of it, I thought were fantastic. I thought the actual effects work was some of the best that we've seen in the series. Honestly, I couldn't believe like the jump in quality. And I guess, it's season 4 now. They have a lot more money and they got that sort of like Hollywood money going into the show, and I think it really showed here. I did not hate Mulder this episode, which I think really helped it. I felt like this was a throwback. Yeah, we have seen this kind of plot done before, with another Cool Witch episode. Was it season 2? I think that one was in. Um, but man, I just loved revisiting our heroes not being dicks to one another and being thrown in sort of like a really cool, creepy situation in a setting that I really enjoy, and seeing like the fat being sucked and the blood flowing. I thought it was fantastic. I love this episode. And I didn't think I was going to love it as much as I ended up loving it. So there you go. Finally, episode 6 in
You
season 4.
nasty man. You're so nasty.
Fun facts about this episode. In the 1990s, the television industry made wide use of spec scripts solicited from freelance writers. While the X-Files had a large staff of writers, the staff would occasionally have to take a risk on a teleplay written by an unaffiliated writer to fill out a full season order. Sanguinarium was such a case, being written by sisters Vivian and Valerie Mayhew. This marked their first experience with writing a 1-hour network program, and they would later write several episodes of the television series Charmed. And prior to having their script picked up by the series, the sisters asked staff writers Glenn Morgan and James Wong for writing suggestions. Morgan and Wong told them that the scariest things are those which repeat every day. And we're living in that in 2025. Soon thereafter, Vivian was paged by a number she did not recognize. She realized that pagers in their own way are scary because an unknown person can connect to the pager's owner. The Mayhews then went from focusing on pagers to the group of people who normally use them, doctors. It was then that they realized a plot about doctors losing control and being bewitched could make for a good episode. After writing their spec script, they presented it to Morgan and Wong, who suggested they change the villain from a woman to a man, as plastic surgery is related to vanity, and everyone expects that from a woman, but not from a man. Which I think is kind of an interesting take. And after the script was submitted, it was selected to become a full episode. And after the spec script was picked up, series creator Chris Carter and the show staff reworked it into a teleplay. Carter focused much of the plot on the themes of greed and vanity, and executive producer Howard Gordon developed several graphic scenes. After Carter had the idea of placing a subtle pentagram on the reunion table, production designer Graham Murray decided to take this further by creating rooms with 5 sides and having the plastic surgery unit with 5 operating rooms represent an imaginary pentagram. Like previous episode Home, Fox Standard and Practices objected to the graphic content, and Carter had to intervene to help retain some scenes. Gillian Anderson describes Sanguinarium as, quote, one of the most repulsive scripts I have ever shot, unquote, explaining that she could not watch scenes such as the doctor stabbing a patient. David Duchovny stated that, quote, I didn't understand the plot, but I liked the script, unquote, and noting that Carter and his team improved a weak teleplay and that director Kim Manners, quote, did an excellent job, unquote. So there you go. There are your fun facts for Sanguinarium, the first banger of an episode for me this season. It sounds like Jeremy, you liked it quite as well, quite a lot as well.
I was just thinking, yes, I did, but just a moment ago you had said that Mulder did not understand what was going on. He just enjoyed the script. So maybe the trick to enjoying Mulder in episodes are the episodes where he's just completely out of his league.
Doesn't understand what's going on. So there you go, folks. Hit that like and subscribe. We're on a rocket ship now. I feel like we're on a rocket ship to the moon. It took us a while to launch. We got delayed multiple times due to the weather, but now season 4 is kicking off in high gear. And next week we are going to be talking about episode 7, Musings of a Cigarette Smoking Man. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you next Friday here on Outpost Unknown for eXhuming the X-Files.